Well, it's 3 minutes past 5, and the guys will tell you, we rarely start late, right? We are 5 o'clock every morning, unless Rocket is doing his thing, right? But other than that, we're 5 o'clock, so we're going to start. And for all of you joining us for the first time, which is a lot, we've got 33 on, right? I think the most we've ever had on is 26. So we know there's some first timers listening in. Then I don't want you to think that what we're going to do today is what we usually do, right? There's the best thing and worst thing about today. The best thing is you're going to be familiar with it because it's me talking over slides, right? I'm sorry for that, but it's not what we usually do at all. Okay, what we usually do isn't traditional Herbalife training. This is more of a traditional Herbalife training than anything we've done. Usually we listen to something, we discuss it, we share. We have a few things that we say, and then we get on with our day, right? But this came up in one of the subjects about planning and goal setting. I asked the question, do you guys want to do a planning and goal setting session? And here we are, right? And we took the opportunity to give you all the opportunity to jump on if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to bring up my slides. Can we all see this? Everyone happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, one sec. I want to be able to see you, as many of you as possible, as well as doing this, right? Okay. So you're going to need a pen and paper for those of you literally just joining. And we're going to go through some stuff, right? All of this came about. Today is day 30 for those of you. For those of you who are on every morning, who has done every single morning? Carl and Sam, Tracy. I can't see all your hands, right? But I know some of you. Clifton's done every morning. Amazing job, right? Because for the record, total disclosure, I didn't make every morning, right? Traveling and babies meant that I think I missed 2, maybe 3. So those of you who made every morning, congratulations. For those of you who haven't seen every post about this whole thing, is that we started that we was going to do it every morning in September. And then on day 12 or something, one of the things we listened to said, you got to do anything you're going to do, you got to do it for 66 days, because that's how it kicks in. And like the clip finished and we went, okay, 66 days it is. And so now we're 30 days into 66, which will take us right through October. And then we've already discussed, can you imagine doing this Christmas morning? Right? Not because we want to sit and work Christmas morning, but because actually we've become a tight little group. and actually we might quite just want to see each other on Christmas morning. So, you know, whether that happens or not, I don't know, right? But most of us are committed to this being a way of life now. And trust me, the first morning we got up and we did this, none of us thought this would be a way of life. Right? Most of us, including me, didn't think we'd make 30 days. But then like 9 days in, probably not even that, we got it, right? It's made a difference. For the record, I haven't asked anybody to post anything about this in the members group, the coaches group. People have just been doing it. And that's unusual to say the least, right? It's been great to see. So for those of you that want to, if you want to study the subject, go get the book. Go get the book, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Read it. It's a bit of a story. It's very easy to read. And of course, if you guys want to join us ongoing, we'd love to have you on, right? You just become one of the weirdos, which is great. This is what it's all about. October 2020 planning and goal setting workshop. A lot of me talking, a lot of you writing, but again, you guys who do this regularly, if you want to say something, say something. If you want to share, share. Right, I've thrown this together over the last couple of days. The clip from yesterday was wonderful. I wish I had seen that when I started putting this together. Maybe this would have been a little bit different. Okay, but this is quite personal to to us and what we've been learning about. Right, here's what we're going to focus on over the next 40 minutes or so, or however long it takes. Right, we're going to talk about things that we can improve or focus on over the next 31 days around our mind, our body, our soul, and our business. Right, when I say soul, don't worry, it's not going to get too spiritual and stuff, right? But you'll understand what that is about. Again, those that have been on this journey for the last 30 days will know some of the things we'll touch on there, and it's probably been some of the most powerful things we've talked about. Right, we're also going to talk about organizing our time. It's the easy bit. We'll do that first. Our day, our week, our month, maybe something you've never done before. Okay, the fact that you're on this morning is something you've never done before, right? So it'd be a month of firsts for many of us. And we're going to talk about targets, and we're going to talk about, again, maybe something different to what you've done in the past, in setting boundaries for your targets for the month. Okay, you'll talk about your non-negotiables, right? Your ultimates, and then everything in between, right? Rather than just saying, I'm going to do this, and then you succeed or fail. Okay, we're going to talk about giving you boundaries that you can fall within so that you can succeed, or you can really succeed, right? It makes things a little bit more exciting. And the whole point of this is, the chances are you're not going to change your life in 31 days in October, right? But you can be a little bit better in October than you were in September. Okay, for those of us that have been doing this, you know, like the habit we installed in September was getting up at 4:59 every morning, right? And slowly we got up a little bit earlier than that, and it's made a difference. What we want to do now is get a little bit better in October, right? And the last couple of slides, they're called just two things, right? And the last couple of slides means that if you just focus on just two things, hopefully that make a really big difference, right? So any questions before we get started? Give me a chance to have my thermo. You ready? Good. Let's go, right? So first of all, let's talk about time, right? Because the whole point of this, whole point of planning is to talk about organizing your time better. I don't know how many of you saw this live that I did, my first ever proper public live, right? But I'm not gonna go into all the detail of that again, because it's 25 minutes long in itself, what I've learned about myself, so I can't do anything quickly. I like a ramble, right? So please, if you can, if you're serious, right, go and find this live on my public profile on Facebook. Give it a watch. I've been truly overwhelmed by the response. Almost 5,000 people have viewed that in 2 days, which is just crazy, right? And the worst thing about that is it means I've got to do more. So my wife says, right? So we're going to do some more stuff on that. But the feedback's been amazing. I don't think, other than my post on my debt, right, which I did many years ago now, I don't think I've had as much feedback on anything as I have that. And in it, I give 5 tips to for having more time in your day, having more time in your week and in your month is something that had a profound effect on me many years ago. And for those people that wish they had more hours in the day, wish they had more days in the week, particularly if you've got full-time work, you have other things going on in your life, you have kids and all the rest of it. I loved Sam Humphrey Smith's message in the group yesterday. She said, listen, I've got a full-time job. I come home to 3 kids and Carl, can you imagine? Right. And they're running an Herbalife business and. And I just wanted to send that inbox to everybody in the group and go, listen, you've got no reason not to be on 5 a.m. Club. Because if Sam's on there and Carl's on there, you should be on it, right? But it's one of those, right? It hasn't missed a day in the last 30 days, has watched this. So guys, if you have a chance and you haven't already, right, go and have a watch of this because it'll help you plan your time. But I want to cover just a couple of things that are in there that I would suggest that you build into the month of October if you want October to be different to every other month. right? On a daily basis. So every night. Okay. In the 5 a.m. club, we've been doing this in the morning. So even for us guys, it's an enhancement, right? Because of the benefits of doing it the night before, right? You need to write your to-do list for the next day. The benefits of doing it, right, and I shared on the live, is if you do your to-do list before you go to bed, you go to bed with an empty head, or emptier than it was. So you sleep better. You might not need to, like I did for a long time, have to have the TV on or Netflix running just to quieten the voice in my head so I can go to sleep. Like, you wake up with a purpose. If you are going to do the 5 a.m. club, I promise you, you'll jump out of bed much better if the first thing on your to-do list is 5 a.m. club. You wake up with things to do. And also the whole purpose of this and stuff we've studied over the last 30 days, and for me, stuff I've studied for the last however many years, is that no amount of money or pin changes or recognition or any of that stuff really gets me going. What actually motivates me the most is making progress on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and having to-do lists, ticking them off. Eat that frog, first things first. Again, I cover it all in the video. Makes a difference. When you feel like you're making progress on a day, it's like life is worthwhile. You have a different energy about you. So the first habit to install in October is your daily to-do lists. One of those things, you have to trust the process. Do it for a week. I promise you'll do it forever. But if you miss tonight, you won't quite get it. So what you might want to do is set an alarm on your phone for 8 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock tonight, whenever kind of the end of the day is for you. And just put to-do lists. And at the top of your to-do list, put 5 a.m. club. And we hope we'll see you tomorrow, right? No drama if we don't. Secondly is weekly, every Sunday. And I'm not going to ask you guys to do anything I don't do. That whole live I did Sunday night was because I was preparing in my head to do my weekly planner. Now you can tell this is an old weekly planner because it starts at 7 a.m. This is what we used to teach and share. So I'm going to make a new one of these, which starts at 4:30, because that's when I start now. And I'll make this available to you, right? I'll stick it in the group. You can all have it. There's a power, by the way, at the bottom there. It says old school is best. Print it off and fill it in on a Sunday night. If you're part of a couple and the other person is engaged in this process, you're going to need your own ones. And I'd encourage you to sit and do them together. Myself and Lauren do this as much as we can. And ever since we have, right, we sync we have a joint calendar on our phone as well. We have our own calendars. We have a joint one as well. Ever since we have, there's less, I don't want to say arguments because we don't argue. But there's less of those moments where you say, you didn't tell me that. It's usually me playing golf or her getting her nails done. She goes, you didn't tell me that. I go, I did, right? None of that, it doesn't happen anymore, right? And ironically, her nails take longer than my golf, right? So now that we do this, I know that she's getting her nails done Wednesday afternoon. I know that her mum's having rocket on Thursday morning. I know that the cleaner's going to be here, so that she's going to want to be in my office on a Monday afternoon. And all of those things that make it different, and everything goes in here. For those of you who haven't done this before, I know lots of you, anyone who's been around me and the Dream Team for years, you've seen this before. And you probably remember how effective you were when you did it. Everything goes on here. The easiest and first thing to go on here for all of you are full time, you put your work in it, right? It might be from 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon is a big black blocked out. I'm at work, right? If you can steal your lunch hour back from your work, right, then don't fill that in. Give yourself the lunch hour back. When I trained on this in the past, I asked the question, how many of you at lunch during your lunch break sit there mindlessly scrolling on Facebook, stuffing a sandwich down your throat? And people go, okay, well, what if you turn that hour into something productive? Now, it's not until you think about your time, plan your time, by the way, claim your time back from wherever you can claim it from, that it makes a difference. The work goes on it. Of course, Herbalife goes on it. Don't just put Herbalife, put what you're going to do in Herbalife. Right, be specific on here. Make sure you have downtime, goes on here. Time with the kids, really important. Right, for the last six and a half months, 5 till 7 every day is me bathing Rocket and getting him ready for bed. 5 to 7 every single day, whatever happens. Don't call me between 5 and 7. I won't answer. I'm in the bath. Well, not in the bath, but I'm in the bathroom with Rocket. That was important to me. Actually, it only became important to me 3.5 months in when I realized I was missing bath time. Right, so that changed for me. So downtime, kids time, fun time. I'm not extreme anymore where I'm going to go, don't watch TV. Watch TV, but plan to watch TV. I stick it in there if you want to sit down with your kids and your family and watch TV. If you want to watch something on Netflix at 10 o'clock at night, watch it. Right? But if you, by the way, if you put it on a planner and you do it, you don't feel guilty about doing it because you planned it. And if you've done your to-do list during the day and on the end of your to-do list is watch so-and-so on Netflix, good for you. Right? Your food can go on this, so when you're having lunch, when you're having breakfast, gym, workouts, going for a walk, right? All of this will come into now by mind, body and soul, right, as well. So you might want to, we're going to set our goals now, and then, you know, once we're done this morning, over today, before tomorrow, you know, if you can, print this off, fill it in around your goals for next week, right? Now you're combining the both. You're planning your time to achieve your goals. Happy? Happy. Good, right? And for the record, I know some of this is teaching you to suck eggs. Some of you do this every Sunday night. Not many, right, but some. Now let's get into the stuff, right? This is where we're going to need to start writing and thinking. We're going to have targets. And I want to put this concept in your head. Again, new to some of you. Most people, when we talk about targets and goals, you just go, I'm going to do this every day this month. And I want to talk to you about having boundaries to your targets, to your goals. When we're writing in a minute about different things, I want you to think about, okay, well, what's the very minimum, the non-negotiable that I'm going to do every single day? I'm going to give you some examples in a minute so this makes sense, right? That every single day, without fail, in the month of October, I'm going to do this. And then you have your ultimate achievement for that same goal, right? If I really had the time and my day went perfectly and I was on plan, right? Then how much could I do? And then in between is where you land, right? Every day you shoot for the ultimate, right? But as long as you reach the non-negotiable minimum, you're going to make great progress in the month of October, right? Let's give you some examples, right? So, like easy ones, daily steps, right? Most of us are used to counting our steps on our phone or whatever because we do it for the challenge, right? But let's say your non-negotiable minimum was 5,000 a day. If you're somebody who works an office job and genuinely you don't do more than 3,000 steps a day, right? You go, right, my non-negotiable minimum is 5,000 a day for the month of October. 31 days is what, 155,000 steps. Yeah, that's my target for the month, non-negotiable. I always do 3,500. I'm going to do 5,000, right? And maybe your ultimate achievement is 20,000 a day. By the way, your ultimate achievement is a stretch target. It's something you don't think you will do. But imagine if you did it. Imagine if just one day in October, you managed to do 20,000 steps and the most you've ever done is 12. The sense of satisfaction that will come from hitting an ultimate achievement one day in 31 is fantastic. And then you've got your in between, right? It should be 10,000 because everybody should be doing 10,000 steps a day. But over the month of October, if every day you did your 5,000, you only ever usually do 3.5, it'll make a difference, right? It's not going to make a massive difference to your weight, right? To your fitness, but it'll make a difference to how you feel about yourself by hitting a non-negotiable minimum. Maybe the term non-negotiables is a new term for you. Right? It's important you give yourself some non-negotiables. When it comes to personal development, right, the 5am Club talk about this a lot. Right? How many pages of your book are you going to read a day? Or how much time are you going to listen to something? Right? You can do 5 pages a day, 5 minutes maybe listening as your absolute minimum. 5 pages a day, 131 days, 155 pages. That'll make a difference in your life. Reading 155 pages of a personal development book. It's probably 155 more than you read last month. Tomorrow you read 5 pages, right? That might be 5 pages more than you read today. Maybe the stretch is 30 pages. I've never had time to read 30 pages before in my life. But guess what? If it was on your planner to do 30 minutes, right, and everything else was planned, and you got everything else done, and it was on your to-do list, you give yourself a chance of doing 30 pages. You've never given yourself a chance to read 30 pages before. Now, guess what? It's a stretch. What you'll find yourself doing, and some of you will fall in love with this game, like I have, right, is you start doing it because you plan to do it. You get to 5, and every page you get over that is a win. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Rocket, goes mental. Like, I don't care. I got to 14. My non-negotiable was 5. He's kicking off. I got to 14. Now, what if we didn't have these boundaries and my goal was 15? Then what happens is I go, far. I didn't get to 15. I got to 14 and I feel like I failed. But I've got my non-negotiable in there, and my non-negotiable is my safety net. If I get to 5.5, that wasn't the plan, but I've reached my minimum. It's a whole different approach to goal setting. Right, volume points, of course. Let's talk about Herbalife for a second, right? What's your non-negotiable minimum? We'll do more on this in a minute, right? What's your stretch? What's your in between? New conversations. Again, traditional Herbalife stuff. How many people are you going to talk to? Add to your circle of influence list. All right, we'll do more detail on that, right? But did you guys, any questions on this concept? I know it's really simple, but any questions, please just shout at me. Okay, cool. So let's get writing, right? We're now you're going to write like crazy now. There's no right or wrong. No one's going to look at your stuff, right? Around these 4 areas. There's no right way to write this stuff, right? Some of you, I would encourage you, once we've been through this morning, okay, you might want to take some time at some point today or tonight, right, to tidy this up. Some of the things you're going to write are nonsense, and when you think about it during the day, you're going to go, that's nonsense, I can't do that. Right? And by this time tomorrow, right, you're going to have one A4 sheet that has mind, body, soul, and business on it. And you have your things that you're definitely going to try and do for the month of October. To mind. All right, so head up your notes, mind. And as I talk, right, you need just to be thinking about yourself now, right? You don't need to write what's on the screen. I'll talk through what's on the screen. But But what are you going to do in the next 31 days to improve, progress your mind? Okay, how you think, what you know. Right? Are you going to join 5 a.m. club every morning? Right? The good news for those of you joining us now, we're giving ourselves 4 days off in October, right? We've done every single day in September, Saturdays and Sundays, right? And, you know, we're changing that. We're going to do 27 days. So you might want to write your non-negotiable, right? Your ultimate achievement for 5 a.m. club. Ultimate achievement, of course, is 27 days. You can't do more than 27 days because that's how many we're doing. Right? What's your non-negotiable? For me, the non-negotiable is 27 days. Right? It's just how we are. Sam's nodding away, right? Some of us are just going to do this. But what's yours? Are you going to do it? Right? If you think you're not going to, maybe try. Right? By the way, there's no register on the beginning of 5 a.m. club. We don't go, oh, have you seen who's not here today? Right? We're not like that. Right? We say good morning to whoever's on. Right? Your books, your audio, so your personal development, that goes back to your pages, your minutes. How many minutes a day? How many pages a day? I'm not going to put a number on you. You need to put a number on yourself. And your minimum is something that you know you can do, right? When it comes to personal development, your minimum might be 1 page. Do you know why? Because if it got to 20 past 11 at night, right, and the day has run you ragged and you are behind and you are knackered and you just want to go to sleep, do you know what you can do? You can read 1 page. You don't even have to take it in. Just read it because it was your non-negotiable. Right? Learning something new. You want to learn something new in October? What have you been putting off learning? And this one goes with it, improve a weakness. One of the things I really struggle with is when we talk about doing something with somebody about anything and they go, I can't do that. I'm like, you're 40 years old, learn. You're not a child, right? I can't do that, doesn't work anymore. It's been interesting for me, you know, the frames for the welcomes and the recognitions. Someone goes, I can't do that. I'm like, listen, it's just an app. It's getting 2 pictures and put them together. I reckon Rocket could do it. If I just showed him the app to use, I reckon he could do it. What do you mean you can't do it? So is there something that you can't do that would benefit you, your business, your life, if you could do it? And you guys, you need to think about this over the day. What are the things I'm going to do? What am I going to learn to improve my mind over the next 31 days? It doesn't have, by the way, it doesn't have to be a massive list. It could be one thing. I'm going to read 5 pages a day, 30 if I can, 15 is my middle. If that's your mind, thing, great. If you don't want to do anything other than tune into 5 a.m. club every day, great. It's probably important there's not 50 things on mind. Because if you're focused on mind, 50 things, you're not going to do your body, your soul, and your business. So just 2 or 3 is plenty. Hands up if you've got your 2 or 3 already. Okay, good. I love it. Thank you for your engagement. I appreciate it. Right? Give yourself the gift today of thinking about it more. Right? Because it might just be by the end of the day, you go, number 2, you're out. Because actually I only want 2 things. Or this is more important. Right? They don't have to be life-changing things. They can be little things, right? So that's our mind. We're going to work on our mind over the next 31 days. Your body, right? Something we're all very, very familiar with in Herbalife, right? Here's one for you. Your Tanita readings. Right? I know we're halfway through a challenge. Some of you are right on it. Okay? Some of you have fallen off it. Right? It happens. Is today the day that you're going to jump on the Tanitas, get your readings, and make a planned, focused, targeted plan for the month of October. This is what I weigh. By the end of October, my non-negotiable is. My ultimate achievement is. My in-between is. And that can be your weight, can be your body fat, your muscle mass. You guys know this stuff, right? This should be an easy one for us, right? Because we're always all focused on this. But are we always this focused on it? I don't know. Probably not. Right? This might be the thing that kickstarts your product result all over again. Who's going to jump on the Tanitas today? Love it. Right? Set your non-negotiables. How about your steps, your miles? We talked about it. How many steps a day? Do you know why the steps is good? Because we can post it in the community group. It's something we should all be doing. If you focus on your Tanita and your steps, right, and you get a result in October, you'll be more active in the community group. That's going to help your business, your clients seeing you more active in the community group. For those of you that run or ride a bike, right, Mihai's on there, right, loves it out on his bike, right? When was the last time you set yourself a goal for how many miles you're going to do in a month? For me, I haven't done that for a long time. And I'm thinking, okay, before the weather really turns, let me have a month to put in some miles on the tarmac. I haven't run in a long time because I hate running, right? But I know the difference it makes to me physically when I run. Partly because I beat the demon in my head that tells me it's too cold, it's too wet, it's too this, it's too that. It's not about the distance. It's actually about beating the demon, right? Is it time for a personal best? Are you going to beat your 5K time? Are you going to beat your deadlift weight? Can you create a personal best for yourself? I know what my personal best 5K time is. I know I haven't got close to it in a couple of years. I know that if I decided I was going to run 5K a day every day in October, I could get close to my 5K best time. Benny's probably on somewhere, right? He loves running. Phil, you're on, right? You love being out on your bike, right? And I know you've been doing your personal best and you've been putting some serious miles in. Right, this is flexible. Martin Gilbert's on, right? Loves a run. Maybe it's time for a personal best. Maybe it's time to get back to your running, sharing it. And how about your product consistency? Again, bringing it back to Herbalife, right? Because some of you are on just because you want to progress your Herbalife business. How was your Formula 2 consumption, your multivitamin consumption in September? Are you nailing your supplements, or have they slipped a bit? Right. Are you on a weight loss plan, having 2 shakes a day? Or have you slipped into breakfast mode? Right? You know, I'm looking at all your faces, I know a lot of you very, very well. You know what happens when you nail these products. You look different, you feel different, you get excited and business grows because you are getting it right. So it's not all about Herbalife, right? But I would definitely apply Herbalife to this. When your product consumption and consistency goes up, so does your results. You'll get that PB. And it starts tomorrow. How many steps are you going to do tomorrow? How many miles are you going to put on the board tomorrow? What's your total for the month? 5K a day for 31 days is 155K. Got it? 31 days from now, your mind's going to be in a better place because a couple of little habits you've implemented. Your body's going to be in a better place because of a couple of things you've implemented. And now your soul. Don't worry, I'm not going to get all preachy on you. I try not to anyway, right? What's good for how you feel about yourself, right? And again, I'm just going to talk, right? And maybe it will touch a nerve with some of you that you go, yeah, do you know what? I'd love to do that. What's good for your soul? Do you know, giving back. selflessly. Charity, donating some time to charity, volunteering, right? If you don't give time, you can give money maybe. Can you raise money for something? It's only little things, right? And it can come to the very little things. Do you know how you feel when you give a little bit of money to someone on the street? Right? You don't need to post it on Facebook. Some people do. It drives me nuts. Right? Look at me. I volunteered at a homeless shelter today. It's like, if it goes on Facebook, you're not doing it for you. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you, sorry. Right? But when was the last time you did something purposefully for charity, for others? Right? By the way, it's not a reflection on you as a person. What happens is because we don't plan our time, because it doesn't go in the calendar, because we don't think about it, we're too busy surviving each day, we just don't have time. Hopefully now you're going to have time and it's going to be a focus. What means something to you? What can you do for them, for it? How about pay it forward? Right, one of the rules of 5 a.m. Club that Natalie gave us, I don't know if Natalie's on today. Yeah, she is, right? You know, Fight Club, they say the first rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club, right? Well, the first rule of 5 a.m. Club is talk about 5 a.m. Club, right? And by the way, that's us paying it forward. We want more people to know about this, right? We don't just mass invite everyone, but that's paying it forward. So what can you do to pay, not just 5 a.m. Club, right? But pay it forward to someone, something, to give selflessly. It's good for your soul, right? And it's important. Not enough people feed their soul, right? Relationships. This was a difficult one for many, including me, on some of the stuff we've been doing. Right? Over the next 31 days, which relationships in your life do you want to strengthen? Who do you not talk to enough? Who do you miss? I don't know how many of you saw Lauren's post the other night around make the chili. Did you guys see make the chili? Right. If you didn't, right, go and have a look on Lauren's wall and find the make the chili post. It's one of the most powerful kind of 3 paragraphs that I've seen in a long time. So much so that I dedicated one whiteboard in my office to it. It just says make the chili in a big heart. And do you know what? It's made a difference to our relationship in the last 72 hours. Because I keep having this voice in my head that says, make the chili, take the bins out, clean the kitchen. It's amazing how quickly it makes a difference. Right? So what relationships do you want to strengthen? What relationships need a bit of fixing? This was an interesting one for us over the last 30 days. Make the call. Right? Who haven't you spoke to for a while? Who did you leave on bad terms? Right? Again, you might not fix it in October, but if you make the effort to try, it's good for your soul. You get that box ticked in October, maybe then you'll see that person over the Christmas period if you made that effort. And last one is, what relationships do you need to let go? And by the way, that might be a relationship with a person who's having a negative impact on your life and you just need to let them go for a while. It might be a relationship with food. It might be a relationship with alcohol. It might be a relationship with gambling. It might be a relationship with any number of things. But what relationships do you need to strengthen? What relationships do you need to fix? What relationships do you need to let go? This probably takes a bit more thought. But it's worth making sure you've got a note on this. All right, your other half, date night, make the chili. What you're going to do, if for those of you with kids, what are you going to do with them over the next 31 days on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, For me, I told you it's bath time, non-negotiable. Often it's early mornings too, right? He's the youngest member of the 5 a.m. club. He's with us as much as anybody else. But again, if the children go in the plan, and this isn't, by the way, this isn't trying to make you feel guilty or anything like this. It's from personal experience. Like I said, I realised I was missing bath time and it was weighing heavy on me. So I planned to fix it and I fixed it. And if you have that same thing with your kids, it might be homework, might be reading a book, it might be playing the PlayStation with them. It might be anything that means that you get that time each day, each week, each month with them. And last but not least, for your soul, have fun. Build some fun into everything you do. Every day, every week, every month. Otherwise, before you know it, it's the 30th of September and you've had no fun in 2020. Particularly now, guys. It's been an interesting year. Right, we got to March before 2020 decided to be a right bitch. It's important that you decide to have fun with some stuff, because right now it's easy to be stuck on your sofa watching Netflix because Boris don't let us out or you're not working, or you can't do the stuff with the kids that you usually do. So for your soul, and for me, if I could only talk about one, I'd talk about this one, because I think if you get this one right, you live happier. And if you live happier, you're more likely to do the things in your business. You're more likely to do your personal development. You're more likely to go to the gym and do your steps if you're just happier. But I talk about it kind of last because it's the weirdest one to get your head around, right? So hopefully you'll build something into the next 31 days to make your soul a better place. And last but not least, because it's the most important but the least important, business, Herbalife. This is the stuff that we bang on about all the time, right? You can't build an ongoing, growing business if you're not having daily conversations. But I think I wasn't going to say this, but I am going to say it. I think the mistake that we've made with you guys over the years is because we haven't focused on the other three things we just talked about. And we just talked about how many conversations you're having today. Right? Then you want to do it. You should do it. It'll make a difference. But it's just kind of very surface level targets and goals. And if all the other stuff isn't right, if you're not taking care of your mind and your body and your soul, the chances of you speaking to another human being, stranger today, is far less likely. But it doesn't mean we can't talk about it. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about how many new people you're going to talk to in the month of October, right? Each day, non-negotiable one. I'm going to find one stranger to talk to every day. I might not even get onto Herbalife about them. But I'm going to speak to one. My middle ground is 3. I can see Phil on here, right? I know he's stuck in a kitchen 80 hours a week with the same, 12 people, Phil, right? They all know what you do, right? He's like, this is tough. I know it's tough, Phil, but one a day, non-negotiable. It will change your life. You go, right, I can do 1. 3, Mark Hughes always said 5 and 10. If you're serious, if you really want to punch your business on, organize yourself, get your mind straight, be happy enough to speak to 5 or 10 people a day. And then the obvious ones, PPV, PV. Guys, we gave you the target for September, October. We're chucking tablet boxes out there. The Health Hero rewards, right? It's not about the poxy tablet box. I think I explained this enough, right? But it's about giving you a goal, a target, 500, 1,000. You've got to have the targets for yourself for October. What's your PPV? How many customers are you going to have a positive impact on? Your PV. Frontline members. How many challengers? Adele's world class at this. I remember when she's like, I want 50 challenges. Earlier this year, I want 50 challenges. And I wanted 100 challenges in her team on the challenge. I want 150 challenges on. 10 to 15% of every challenge is just a Dell's mob. We go again in 4 weeks from now with the challenge. You've got October to work to see how many challenges you can have on the last challenge of the year. If you want to. None of this is me telling you what you got to do. It's me telling you what you could do. You've got to have your business targets, guys. They're the easiest ones, right? But you've got to have them. And we're going to finish with this, right? I like this. Discipline is like having the combination to a lock that will unlock the door to prosperity, happiness, wealth, pride, joy, satisfaction, and success. Discipline. And hopefully you've written down a shed load of stuff. Scribble makes no sense, right? Today, your homework, our homework, my homework, right, is to turn that stuff into an A4 sheet. Mind, body, soul, business. 1 or 2 or 3 things in each. But I wanted to give you this as well, right? Because this comes back to the clip yesterday. You talked about having monthly challenges for yourself. What if there was just 2 things, right? The first thing is, what are you giving up for October? On your notes at the top, what are you giving up for October? And this is a non-negotiable. If all else fails, on everything else, in every other category, if I achieve this, it's enough. I shared with the guys the other morning, I love a little bit of chocolate after dinner. And when I mean a little bit, I mean a little bit. I mean 1 square of dark chocolate. Right? Calorie-wise, it makes no difference to my day. Right? It's actually, the more I thought about it, it's not worth giving up, right, for the calories or the whatever, but for the discipline of, can I do it? I wonder if I can be disciplined enough to not do it. And so I thought about, maybe I could do that. A few months ago, or maybe more than a few months ago, it would have been alcohol for me. Whenever I thought about having a really healthy month, it revolved around, could I drink less? Like, could I have a month off? October, by the way, for a lot of people, sober October. In the past, I've done sober October. I've needed people to sponsor me to do it. Right? So it's been, in the past, it's been alcohol for me. Right? In the past, it's been, I don't mind a little bet, a little gamble on the football at the weekends and all the rest of it. We're not talking thousands. It doesn't cause negative in my life, right? The mortgage isn't going on a horse at the 350 at Kempton or anything silly like that. But it's a discipline. The satisfaction of not doing it for a prolonged period of time tells me I have control over that thing. So listen, this doesn't have to be something major. It could be something small. It's probably important that it is something small that you give up. And what you might want to do is get yourself a calendar with 1 to 31 on it, right? And each and every day when you go to bed, if you manage to give up that thing, you put a big green tick in that box. And if you didn't, you put a big red tick in the box. And on that one thing, the bit of chocolate after dinner, right? Whatever it is, big green tick. I promise you, if you become physically accountable to that thing, you don't have to share it with anyone. You don't have to share it with your other half. But come the end of October, you've got a thing full of green ticks. You're going to feel internally very proud of yourself. So what's the one thing, non-negotiable, that you're going to give up? in October? And the second thing, what are you taking up in October? Giving and taking. If you're going to have the self-discipline of giving something up that you would usually do that you know doesn't serve you, what are you taking up? Oh. And the same thing. It's non-negotiable. If all else fails, if I achieve this, it's enough. And this doesn't have to be something on top of everything that's in mind, body, soul, and business, by the way. It might be the 5 pages a day. It might be the steps. It might be the 5 a.m. club. It's probably quite important that it is one of those things. But something you don't usually do. Something that will serve you, will serve you. What are you giving up? What are you taking up? If you can't do any of the other things you've written down, if all of this is just a bit too much for you, right? You're wishing you hadn't got on this morning, right? If you're that person, then just do, what are you giving up? What are you taking up? Okay. That's it. Right? I really hope, right, for those of you that are joining